What is up, though, Lions fans? You already know what it is. The Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We got some things to get into today. We're gonna go ahead and get into them. What up, though, everybody in the chat? What up, though? J Rod, Tactical Sport, Just a Fan, Jay Cruising. And the list shall go on and grow and grow and grow. Now, um, let's see. I didn't set my goal for the super chats. Like I said, I think we're at 6. As I said, we're trying to get to 20 all together. It doesn't have to be today or blah, 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 blah. It's just got to be 20 all together. All right. So, of course, we're here to talk about what we're here to talk about. What up, though, Mr. Morale 313? Mr. Morale 313 sent me a video which was very eye-opening about Tanner Engstrand, and we're going to get into all of that. But, of course, the news of the day, I did a video before about Terrell Williams. And then the New York Jets made it official with England. What's good? What's good? All right, so the New York Jets made it official with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn will be the head coach. Well, I can't say will be. He is the head coach of the New York Jets. And I remind you and any of those Detroit Rams fans who are out there that we are not giving the same energy. I did not give the same energy to Terrell Williams. I did not give the same energy to AG. I'm not going to give the same energy, the same Ben Johnson treatment, because AG did not run to an NFC North rival. So he didn't stay in the division. He also didn't even stay in the conference. AG is in New York with the Jets. He is in the AFC. So, yes, we wish AG well. I know there are those of you who don't wish AG well, and not because he went to another team, is because you hate him as a human being. I get it. I don't know why, but there are those of you out there who hate AG as a human being. Listen, here's what I don't want people to do. And if you want to clip this, go ahead and clip it so you can keep it in your memory banks. I'm not going to call them receipts because, other people do that, and I don't do the type of things that other people do. And, if you know, you know. Here's what I don't want y'all to do. The number one priority that we have for this offseason is defense. We want Brad Holmes to use all the draft picks on defense. We don't care if he offensive line, cool, whatever. But we want all the draft picks to be on defense, namely the defensive line. We had a ton of injuries. Hutch is coming back. Aleem McNeil is coming back. I don't know about Derek Barnes. I'm pretty sure Marcus Davenport is gone. I don't see how you bring a guy back making $6 million a year to play 2 games. I've said it before. I've always said it. I've always stood behind it. Big believer in his talent and ability, a non-believer in his health, his ability, which is availability. That's the best ability, right? So not a believer in that at all. And I was correct. Not a victory lap, not pounding my chest, none of those things. It's just the way that it is. So when everybody's back healthy, and then we get new pieces on defense, we get new defensive linemen, we get, I don't know, maybe another corner. We see how Carlton Davis goes. What I don't want people to do is whoever the new defensive coordinator is, and we can talk about that a little bit later. I don't want people to, if this dude, whoever comes in, is blessed with health above all else. I don't care about no new people. I'm just talking about health, because this was our Achilles heel. Not literally. Okay. We could say it was our ACL knee or our, it's many things. Okay. But health above all else. If this new coordinator is blessed with that, we don't even have to talk about depth. We don't have to talk about anything. If this new coordinator gets one, maybe two guys on IR, okay, and we're talking about depth guys. We ain't talking about the Aidans and the Aleems. We're not talking about none of those guys. DJ, nobody. I don't want people to be like, see, AG was trash. He couldn't do this, that, and the third thing. Again, remember, Brad Holmes largely built out this offense very quickly. The first couple of years, the premium picks went to the offense. The only non-premium pick that went to the offense, and it was a major surprise that he was able to do what he was able to do after being picked in the 4th round, was Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that's what I just ask you as a favor, to be objective. Because when I come up here 4 days a week, 7 p.m. Eastern, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be objective. And I don't want to sell you a bunch of dreams and things like this. I try to strike a more positive tone because I don't want to be SOL. I don't want to feed off of negativity. Some people do that, and some people don't do that. But when I look at something, I try to see it in more of a positive light for this team, because hell, I don't want to be a paper bag wearing fan. I don't want to do that stuff. I want to have the chance to win the Super Bowl every single year. And I think this is the area. This is the air that we can now be breathed in. Okay. We can now be breathed in that air. So be objective. Look at what AG was doing with this defense when he had the pieces at the beginning of the year. At some point, we were a top 5 defense in the major categories. And I said in the offseason, on paper, I believe that this defense would actually venture into top 5 territory. And we did. And then we had 87 million people on IR. And that was it. Because largely those people that were on IR were from the defensive side of the football. Okay. That was it. AG did whatever he had to do to mask it. What he had, 60% blitz rate, all these things. And we went 15-2, and it looked like to some that we didn't miss a beat, and to others, we knew that we were missing some things, but we didn't want to give that as an excuse because we were 15-2. But if you said, would you rather have the defense that we started off with going into the playoffs or the defense that we went into the playoffs with, 100% of actual Lions fans are going to tell you, well, it's the defense from the beginning of the season. Through the first few weeks of the season, nobody was calling for AG's head. We got my guy in here. Hold on, let me get him on in here.
What up?
Hear him. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. Tested 1 2 1 2 3.
What up, man?
It's easy, baby.
Easy.
Go ahead and say what up to the chat. So Easy is here, guys. As you know, I like to have Easy on Wednesdays if he's available. It's that we ain't breaking down no games,
No,
but we
unfortunately.
just talking. We talking Lions football, whatever it is.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yeah.
so I was just in here imploring the people, imploring the fans that whatever the defense looks like next year, okay, if the defensive coordinator, whoever he is just blessed with health. I don't care about no new players, nothing. Just
Yeah.
blessed with health. Please do not be talking about how he's so much better than AG, blah, 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 if he's blessed with health.
Yeah, I'm with you. I guess it would take years' time to know, but I do think there is there's maybe a few tiers above AG when it comes to calling defensive games. I think AG is just a good football coach, football mind
Mm-hmm.
overall. But yeah, I mean the Detroit Lions losing all those people still finished top 10 as a scoring defense,
Right.
despite all those damn injuries. Obviously the first year AG finally got a reliable secondary, he produced for you,
Mm-hmm. We were top 5 in major categories, right? Which is what
Yes.
I said that this defense would be when I saw it on paper, right? A lot of people didn't want to say it. A lot of people were like, "Oh, we'll be top 15 or maybe top 10." I said top 5, and we were. So that's just it. All right, so we are here to talk about a lot of stuff, mostly
Dearly
coaching
beloved.
stuff. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today, dearly beloved. Now everybody look to your left and look to your right and say Alizé. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. Tanner Engstrand is he's a hot topic, pause. He's a name that we've been hearing a lot about. Now, one of the listeners, Mr. Morale 313, he sent me a podcast yesterday from COVID. And this podcast was Tanner Engstrand on like a USA football podcast or whatever. And this is when he was the offensive coordinator of the DC. God damn it. What was it?
I don't
The
know.
DC Dominators.
That sounds kinky.
Pause. I think that's the name of their team. Let me see. DC.
You're good.
I know it wasn't Commanders. Maybe we should throw now the same shade at Tanner Engstrand that we throwing at Ben Johnson. Be like, you worked in DC, you bum ass. Nah.
Maybe the DC Defenders.
DC Defenders. There we go. So he was the offensive coordinator at the time in DC. What struck me about him was how he talks offense. We talk about the mind of Ben Johnson. I don't know. I can't sit here and say it's a similar mind, but it's a very, very good mind. When you can just rattle off your concepts and explain your concepts and explain the themes of the concepts and what you're trying to do pre-snap and how you're designing plays so that the quarterback has, he talked about reading the defense with your feet, right? I've never heard that before. But designing like certain aspects of plays into your drops so that, okay, if it's a 3-step drop, your number 1 is going to be open automatically. And if it's not number 1, then the next drop that you take in the direction is going to take you to your number 2. And if that's not, you take another hitch and you get to your number 3. So you're going through progressions with your footwork. That's a concept that I never really thought about before, right? To build in progressions with footwork. Have you ever seen that or talked about that or has that ever been explained to you before?
Yeah, actually, I believe I watched a video of Tom Brady kind of talking about moving towards that in his older age to help
Hmm.
his arm strength, help him project the ball a little bit further, and it gets you in a throwing stance a bit quicker. Um, I've heard about it before,
Hmm.
and it was from the goat. So yeah, I guess that's kind of good news, huh?
Yeah, there you go. So it came from the GOAT, and he was talking about that. So I mean, he struck me as just a very intelligent offensive mind, who knew what he was talking about. I believe he was responsible for designing the offense in DC. Their season obviously got cut short because of COVID.
Yeah,
So then after that, then that's when he, I believe, came. You say he was the quality control coach, hired by Fatty Matty Patty. And he stayed on, just like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, same thing. He was able to stay on through that regime change. Um, but the thing that you guys were talking about as I was listening in the car, as I had a dude trying to talk to me and I had my earbuds in, I'm like, bruh,
shout out to you for I appreciate you listening, man.
hey man, all the time, every day. But I'm just like, he's like, hey, busy day for you. I'm like, yeah, it's been busy. Like, you don't see my ears, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the worst.
Oh, bruh. Usually people are cool and they don't say nothing,
Yeah,
just
some people don't have that awareness.
nah, nah.
I
Be
think
like, dude,
emotional intelligence. I don't even know what to call it, but yeah, some people lack.
yeah, it's social intelligence. I don't know. Just regular awareness. Be like, where was your antennas?
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm doing something.
Exactly. Um, but yeah, so like you guys were talking about him calling plays or
Campbell.
Dan Campbell calling plays. Like, let's delve into. I obviously he has play calling experience. He has play calling experience, and he was at the university. I did pull up an article about that before last night when I was looking at this. He did work with Jim Harbaugh at University of San Diego.
Yep.
All these things kind of cut his teeth with. So I mean, looking at the way that he's come up, looking at the way that he's actually designed an offense, and he's able to teach the concepts. He's able to explain them very clearly. Now, when I was like listening to it and doing something else, and obviously, I don't know, just because I've coached football before or whatever, or played football and taught football, right? Maybe I was able to understand it while not paying full attention, but I felt like that was just the ease in which like how he was teaching it. He was clearly able to get his point across, and it didn't take a whole lot of stuff. Um, so so what do you think would be the drawbacks of someone like this being able to call plays? I mean, for the first time in the NFL.
I think I was more comfortable with Dan Campbell being that play caller. I guess I know I get that he's had that play calling experience in the past. I just think what we have specifically is kind of set up for Jared Goff and
Mhm.
what he can and can't do. And I think Dan Campbell has become very familiar with that. I think Dan Campbell, after that first year with Ben Johnson, kind of forced himself to become familiar with that because the writing was on the wall. This guy was going to become a head coach someday. I mean, and Ben Johnson, and so I think he's had to become immersed in that. And I think it's dope. The thing that leaked this year, not even leaked, Dan Campbell said it himself, was that once a week, he and AG and Ben Johnson would all sit down and kind of just go over like coaching scenarios. I think that was a healthy coaching exercise for Dan Campbell just as much as it was Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. And I don't know. I just think I have more faith in Dan calling those plays. He did it in 21 with Ben drawing up the plays in the second half. And stats did change. I know we pulled them up in the heavies the other day. I know you listened in the car and whatnot, but it was like 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions versus beforehand without Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, like 8 touchdowns to 6 interceptions for JG. I just think it's got to be JG specific. And I think Dan's just more in tune with that. I could be wrong, obviously, and Tanner doesn't have a lot of experience, and that's probably just where I'm at, a little uneasy with that. But I think Dan likes calling plays. And I don't know if he was trolling or not, but like before relinquishing that to Ben, he kind of kept saying he likes calling plays and he wanted to continue to call plays. And it felt like it was kind of tough for him to let that go. But Ben was just such a brilliant mind. And obviously the kid who drew up this stuff, that he kind of had to let him go to see his vision all the way through. I think it's going to end up being Dan if it's going to be a Tanner Engstrand. I think Tanner Engstrand could become that play caller at some point in the future, but I feel like it's going to be Dan. That's just my personal feeling about it. What about you?
So before I answer that, before I forget, I know that there were some sources, and one of the sources said apparently that JG to the Saints was pretty much a done deal. Okay. Not JG, sorry, AG.
God, that source, garbage right. Source. Yeah, no, that.
So that part wasn't true because he clearly didn't go to the States. He went to the Jets.
I already know what you're gonna say too. We could talk about it.
That other part, okay, the rift. Is there nothing to that?
Nothing to that at all. I like that source. Either that source or the source's source was on some BS and either trying to draw up some stuff. I know very much so. I think you're familiar with it too. After Ben turned down that commander's job, there was a lot of slander going around towards Ben Johnson and his agency because he kind of embarrassed them. They were on their flight to Detroit to visit Ben to try to make him the head coach, and he told them no. So, in retaliation, they kind of rug his name through the mud. Obviously, it didn't work because Ben is a phenomenal offensive mind and a great play caller, and people covet that in this league, right? JG's a really good quarterback, but Ben helped make him look functional. He helped JG look that way. Let's put it that way. So I think if that source was told those things, it came from that type of camp. But obviously, you saw the AG thing didn't come to fruition. That part didn't even make any sense at all to begin with because he was in New York all day. Why would have New Orleans been a done deal? Why would you go to New York if New Orleans was a done deal? Why would you been? That's all BS. There was no friction. Today, Ben Johnson opened up his press conference thanking first Sheila Ford and then Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell came up multiple times at the press conference because Ben is grateful and thankful for things Ben has taught him. He has coached him up to become a head coach. Ben Johnson came here half the reason because of Dan Campbell. The second half of the reason to win a Super Bowl.
Right. Okay. So I was just making sure
because that pissed me off the minute I heard it, man. That made no damn sense. Absolutely no sense.
And the only thing I could think of is the only reason he's saying the Saints is a done deal is because AG left the facility yesterday without signing a contract. Yeah,
but that guy was saying that it was a done deal before then. He was surprised it wasn't announced yesterday. I reached out to my sources on that source to see if there's any truth in any of that, and they say absolutely not.
Yeah.
They almost
so it's not just haterade.
Yeah, no, not just haterade. I mean, that's Spinney's boy, so he's got to look out. But that was trash.
Well, see, what time did the news break? Okay, so for me, it was 6 a.m. So it was right at the start of Armani Edwards. I was getting ready to go out to work. Mm-hmm. So I heard it after that because I never catch them live because I'm asleep. I never catch Big D because I'm asleep. Pause. What the? Hold on.
Yo.
Hold on. I got. Hey, time out. I never catch that show because I'm asleep, so I don't catch it live.
It broke at 1:43 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, so that's about 2 p.m., which would be 6 a.m. for me, right? Yeah. So yeah, I was getting ready to go out to work, and I was like, I'm just not gonna do the AG video. I'll talk about it later. I gotta go to work. But
everyone kind of knows what it is,
Yeah. So I heard it after that, and I was like, why? It just seemed kind of strange But I knew obviously it wasn't live, but it just seemed strange to come out today. All right. So my opinion about Dan and Tanner. If Tanner becomes the the offensive play caller, or if he doesn't become the offensive play caller.
I think he becomes a coordinator. I don't know if he becomes the play caller.
Yeah. But I'm saying if he does become the play caller or not the play caller.
Yeah.
So my take on it now that I'm thinking about it is, why not Dan Campbell calling the plays? Because there's a particular game plan that he has, and every time after a game we would criticize Ben Johnson, he would go to the podium and say Ben called the game exactly the way I wanted him to call it. So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna have a guy call it exactly the way that you want to call it, why don't you just call it? If he's comfortable with, so here's the other thing. When I was watching the St. Brown Brothers podcast last night, he said, as long as we have Dan, we're good. Right? Because he was like, Dan knows X's and O's. He knows offense. He knows defense. He knows everything. He was like, people just don't understand how smart Dan Campbell is. Yeah. So I think it would marry up with the way that he manages the game for him to be calling the plays. I think we could say it's kind of a natural progression as to what should be going on. Like, okay, we lost Ben Johnson and we're going to keep the same verbiage. We're going to keep everything the same for our offense so that we're hitting the ground running. We're not putting in a new offense, right? So we said this was offense 401 at the beginning of the year. Okay, well, now it's going to be 501. We're not changing things. Obviously, they're going to have some new wrinkles in there when they play against the damn Chicago Bears, led by Osama bin Johnson. Yeah. But I just feel like it's a natural progression. I wouldn't be mad either way. I think, like I said, because I've listened to Tanner speak about offense and his philosophy and all these things, obviously his philosophy matches up with the same philosophy that we've had on this offense. You got to run the ball to establish the pass, right? You run the ball, you open up the play action, and that's the way JG's been doing it. That's the way Ben Johnson's been doing it. Dan Campbell, like, that's what our philosophy is. Yeah. I don't care if there's trick plays, right? Because I mean, the last play was dumb. Yeah, the last one was dumb, right? The other ones worked, but the last one was stupid. And I would rather. Obviously, when it works, it's great. When it doesn't work, it's dumb. Yeah, and it's all cool and everything, but that was my one criticism, and I'm not gonna attack Ben Johnson. I've done enough of that. I'm not gonna attack his game plan. The game plan was fine, but what did Dan Campbell tell you? Well, once we started turning the ball over incessantly, we had to get away from what we wanted to do. Yes, Jahmyr Gibbs was averaging 10 yards a carry in the beginning of the game. Yes, he was doing work. But now, do the people that had a problem with the game plan say you should never have passed the ball with Jared Goff? You should have just, Jahmyr should have had 50 carries.
Well, here's the thing with all that too, and it blows my mind. I know there's a loss. Not a lot of people rewatch losses, especially when it hurts like that. But like, we scored on every single possession outside of that first one where we punted the ball. And anytime you didn't score, you turned the ball over. There was nothing wrong with the play calling unless you want to gripe hindsight on the 3rd and 1. But even then, that was a turnover. You survived that down. I guarantee you that's a Monty run on that 4th and 1 or a Jahmyr Gibbs run on that 4th and 1 that you convert. And maybe that drive ends up being a touchdown. The offense was called well. You just turned the ball over. it's so easy when and stuff goes wrong in hindsight to say something like JMO shouldn't have thrown that ball. And I guess, yeah, ultimately you could call the responsibility of that being on Ben Johnson for putting the decision in JMO's hands. But you remember against Chicago at home, Penei, pass wasn't open. You're running out of bounds. You know, like
Yeah.
that's how it goes. Everybody loved when Amon-Ra threw to Jared Goff. That was even a crazier receiver pass because you're throwing to your damn quarterback. Like it's like you said, you love it when it works, you hate it when it don't. But like that game, you had 500+ yards of offense. You scored every single time you didn't turn the ball over. Outside of the very first series, you can't really complain about that. You turn the ball over, and they scored again. The 4th and the 12 men on the 4th down killed us. You get the ball back, you're down 17 with 7 minutes left. You heard Tom Brady in the broadcast even say it. You shouldn't even be huddling right now. You got no time. You got to get points on the board. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs didn't run in the second half. You were down 17 points because you turned the ball over.
Yeah, and even, when I was doing the live stream, I was like, bro, we go down 14-3. We go up 14-3 here. Game's over. And to that point, nobody had a problem with the way the game was being called.
Yeah.
Right. So you go up 14-3, you still have no problems with the way the game was called. Like I said, ball security. If everything is collapsing around you as a quarterback, you must. And I lost subscribers, but I'm just telling the truth, right?
Yes, the truth. It's like no one gives a running back excuse for not having blocks when they fumble because you hold on to the ball. It's your job.
Yeah. Once you looked at Amon-Ra and you were startled, like, oh snap, he tripped.
Mm-hmm. And this is where and by the way, I love JG. I think he's a great guy. I think he's hilarious. Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee multiple times now. And obviously you can win football games with them. But that's what people mean when everything has to be perfect around him. Because of that pocket collapse on a guy that could – I'm not even talking about a guy, a scrambler, just a guy that could recreate a pocket elsewhere. That's what happens in that situation. Like a Josh Allen, Lamar, whoever else you want to name, runs out of that situation and the play goes on a little longer. Maybe you still get sacked, but you're not in that situation where the ball's fumbled, And I mean, that's why people say everything needs to be perfect, I guess. But you still win games with him, obviously. We got a lot of good stuff going on. He's damn there. Stuff is perfect around him. Great offensive line, 2 great running backs, 2 great wide receivers. And I think Jamo's going to elevate even more.
Mm-hmm. I think Jamo's going to come back hungry because I think he's going to internalize that pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be like, oh, that was my fault. The game was on me. When even, it wasn't on you because you were behind the 8 ball because of the previous turnovers that we had.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Again, so we'll get to the people to tell them what you guys said about how there were no offensive players saying anything to Ben Johnson. Nothing. You on social media more than I am. I try, but the way my bank account is set up, I got a checking and savings. So what I'm saying? Don't worry.
Yeah, I gotta slow down because like you lose subscribers, I've been losing followers because I've just been angry. I've been upset, ranting.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Like it's and the same thing that you guys said today about being fanatics. Yes, I've been saying that. Like we're fanatical about our Detroit Lions. You went to the Chicago Bears, which is the enemy, FTB, FTV, FTP, right? All of them. So if you went anywhere within the division, it's thank you next.
Yep.
That's it. If you had gone inside of the NFC, we'd be like, okay. Like cool. It wouldn't be any further. But then like you go out to the AFC like AG did, and we're like, man, kumbaya, man.
Yeah. Great
You
job.
invited to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? Come back anytime. We're not gonna boo you and your kids.
Yeah.
Right. But you come back to Detroit, we booing all of them. We booing you, your wife, all the children.
That's simple, man. It really is. Like, And it is congratulations, and it is you deserve it, for Ben. Like congratulations on the bag for you and your family. You were deserving. You deserve choosing your spot. You chose the Bears. Don't expect love from me. Like not
No,
you're a
somebody's
division opponent. Even when you're not playing me, I'm rooting against you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's just that
no
simple.
success.
And then for fans to be like, "Oh, you're not thankful," as you said, and as Penei said earlier, where were the congratulations from the offensive players when Ben got that job? You didn't see any.
Not even Taylor Decker.
Not even Taylor Decker. Not even Jared Goff. Not even Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra
Yeah,
St. Brown. They had a conversation. He said, "F you. I'm going to beat you twice." Like that's what it is. And then
exactly.
AG gets job and graduate. It's just that simple. The virtue signaling with that has been crazy to me. Are you Lions fans? Like I feel like there are Detroit Rams are the only people trying to say that kind of stuff, man. Like what's going on?
Oh, bro, that Detroit rant. I don't say that to me. You go,
That's got to be the people
you
like that
gonna
are like
make me start
saying that kind
cussing
of
up
stuff,
here.
man. It's crazy. Seriously.
Um, here's the scenario I'll pose to the people. Um, let's say you're happy for Ben Johnson, and this is just for that minority of people that are happy, because I think most of us fans are in the same boat. But there are the apologetic fans. There are the just like you can call them cucks or whatever you want to call them. Like when Viking Ness was talking about, oh, I had the worst experience, and it was like they'd never seen a woman before, and you had the guys in there like, I'm so sorry that you had to experience that.
Yeah.
It's like, she ain't giving it up. Get out her DMs, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's those people. So I want to give you guys this scenario. If you are one of those people, you don't have to say that you are. You don't have to raise your hand. I don't want you to expose yourself unless you put it in the super chat. Um, but next year we are one game out of the 1 seed, and we have to go on the road because there was this one game that we didn't win, and that game was Ben Johnson and the Bears.
The NFL schedule is going to make that the last game of the year. I promise you. Probably
So
just for that
are you
reason.
congratulating him at that point? Are you happy for him? Oh man, Ben, you beat us. No, you're not happy. We missed out on the 1 seed for the second
Mhm.
year. Like we would have been the back-to-back 1 seeds. Just like we were the back-to-back NFC North champions,
Yeah.
but the Bears beat us with Ben Johnson.
And to be honest with you, we got to hold those people accountable. Like they got to keep that energy.
Keep it.
Like yeah, like when that game comes up, you better be a Ben Johnson fan. I want you to
Exactly.
be my team. You were a Ben Johnson fan when he got hired. Keep that energy.
Yeah, you're not allowed in
And by the
Detroit.
way, no one was a bigger Ben Johnson fan than me. I got abused for loving Ben Johnson as much as I did because I thought he was
Can't go.
brilliant and phenomenal. And people wanted to tell me he was all JG, and I was stamping my foot down. I got called a hater for it. I'm divorcing that man. No mas. He's not a lion. What are we doing?
Not at all. And speaking of that, let's transition into who do you believe is going to be the most difficult to replace? Is it going to be Ben Johnson or is it going to be AG?
I think the obvious answer is Ben Johnson. However, I feel like with what you got to work with on the offensive side of the ball, you're still going to see success regardless. Like I said on today's show, like you have a caveman at offensive coordinator. If you spam Jameer Gibbs behind that offensive line, you're going to see some success. And
Even the
things are going to
tackle.
open up for Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like it shouldn't be hard to do. I feel like I could do it. I want to say it's almost like no. I don't think either will be hard because you also have Aidan Hutchinson getting healthy and coming back on the other side too. But to the tune of what Ben Johnson did this year, the fourth highest scoring offense of all time in terms of total points, it's going to be that one.
Mhm. I mean, if you're talking about the same level of success, then I would agree that it's Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that the offensive side of the ball now has a system. Um,
Yes.
and I don't think that it's hard to replace him. The production of that system, maybe instead of having two 1,000-yard receivers and two 1,000-yard backs, you have two 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard back and a 700-yard back. But I think that's going to be the natural progression of the offense anyway, because at the end of the day, you gotta give the ball to Gibbs.
Yep.
Like, that man is phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what was going on, but I think it was Monday I did my show, or it was Monday for y'all. It was Tuesday for me. I did my show. I went because usually I just do my show, I cut it up, and then I go back out to work for a couple more hours. I did my show. I laid down on the floor. I fell asleep. Bro, I'm not lying to you. I had a dream that I was hanging out with Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't dream about other men. Pause. We were, bruh, like, he was walking fast. I was like, dang, this dude walks fast, bro. I was trying to keep up with him. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to start jogging. And it was like, we was just having a conversation, man. And I was like, man, you the GOAT or whatever. He was like, I heard you was the GOAT. Like, I'm not lying to you. Jahmyr Gibbs said this to me in my dream.
Now we know it's a dream for sure.
Hey, look, back, bro. I wish I had some tape of me in high school, bro. I'm gonna tell you one thing that my teammate said to me in practice. Okay, and I this is 100% the truth. I don't lie. Okay, there are a lot of people that lie, and if y'all think about it, you can think about a big liar. Okay, my teammates to me in practice, we were in practice one day, and they kept hitting me after the whistle, and I said, "Why do y'all dudes keep hitting me after the whistle?" They said, and I quote, "Because we can't hit you during the play."
That's true. I play defense. That's what we do.
Bro, I'm not lying.
Hey, that's why there's dog piles in the place, because people want to get their lick in.
My first high school, my nickname was Little Barry. I didn't give it to myself. Okay, I'm not like LeBum. I don't run around calling myself the king. I didn't give it to myself, but
unnecessary broad shot.
It was very necessary. It was very necessary. How do you see the hiring cycle shaping up? Do you think that we are going to get
grip?
Yes. Yeah, you think we're gonna whether it's promote people from the inside, the outside? Do you think it's going to be a quick process? Do you think it's going to be a little bit drawn out? What do you think?
I think it'll be a little bit drawn out. I think the guys that are getting hired within probably have already had those conversations. Dan was kind of open about that too. He's in no rush. I don't think we're really competing for anybody. That's why I don't think I would love Rob Saleh. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think we're interviewing Rob Saleh. There's too much competition for him right now. I think they're kind of just sitting back and trying to see what they want to do. There's a long season for everybody involved, and he has guys in house that he trusts. So I think if we go out house, just sounded weird. If we go out of
to the outhouse
coaching circle, yeah, sure. If we go out of our inner circle, I think it's defensive coordinator. I think Tanner's almost a lock, just because you want to keep, as he said, the verbiage with Goff and everything else that worked with him. You want to keep that stuff because it worked. And so I think the offensive side is coming in-house for sure. Defense, I think that's where we kind of flirt with a little bit more experience outside, just because the guys that we have. The one and most experienced guy I think we had outside of Brian O'Neill was Sewell Williams, and he's gone now. Defense coordinator for the Patriots now. So got Calvin Shepard, and I think he's ready. I would be okay if that's a hire, but I think you also have to do your due diligence and talk to some more vetted guys across the league who may or may not be available. So that's just kind of my expectations. We're going over some names today. There's still more on that list, by the way, too. But I think we take our time. Maybe everyone comes from in-house. What about you?
I mean, I like Shep. My thing with Robert Salah is the same thing I said about Ben Johnson. Shout out Salty Pork Chop. As I said,
Jim O'Neill,
that's
thank you. I think I said Brian.
oh yeah, Jim O'Neill. Shout out Salty Pork Chop. Did you know? Okay, did you know that Salty Pork Chops is an Oh Hell No State fan?
I did not.
Yeah, I was like this. I mean, I'm gonna keep you in the chat. You one of the good ones. You know what I'm saying? But it's unnerving to me. He was like giving
Congratulations to him.
nah. F all that. I'm a Michigan fan, so it's unnerving to me to see him in the chat. But with not to see him in the chat, but he was giving me like updates about the game. I was like, Salty, ain't nobody asked you. I said I'm not watching it. You know what I'm saying? But he thought and looked like he was willing to put some money on it. But I don't gamble, so. He was like, book it. Ben Johnson is going to Jacksonville, and I was like, look, man. Now he did go to a dysfunctional organization.
I wish I was there for that bet.
Ooh, I don't know how much you would have wanted to put it on. I didn't even broach the topic, but Ben Johnson did go to a very dysfunctional organization.
Yes,
but
who you like more, Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams?
Bruh, oh man. Did you see? Now, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this. Did you see when they had him on the St. Brown Brothers podcast?
Yes.
Did you see? Hey, bro, I just be getting these fire ass designs. So look, I just be going to the salon, right? And then I sit in the chair and I'm like, yo, yeah, give me that one. And the chick come over. She fit me for the mani pedi. I'm like, bruh, like this, you're talking like you're in the barbershop about painting your nails. Like this is just something that you're supposed to do. This is not manly behavior.
That's that new school. It's a new school, man.
I don't know what kind of
I would say this: he had the wherewithal to cut it out of the routine. He said that part. So once you start losing games, those visits stop.
Then you shouldn't have had started the visits at all. Because if you got to cut some stuff out your routine, because it's optics. You know what I mean? Like Kyler Murray had to cut out all the Call of Duty.
Yeah,
we think.
I guess I gotta give him some kudos for stopping that, because I couldn't imagine the season going the way it's going, and he's making time to get his nails done. Definitely would not have gone well.
But he said he's making the plans now. Like now he understands the schedule, so he's scheduling all of that in. Going to the nail salon. Bruh. No. So when you ask me who do I like more,
yeah, pick one.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has girl hair. And shout out to the chick that got famous for looking like Trevor Lawrence, but that was
hilarious.
It's very unnerving to me. You know what I'm saying? It's very unnerving. If I'm going on physical ability alone, and this is why, never forget. Okay, we call them the Goff Gooners. Never forget Goff Gooners.
Yeah,
that Ben Johnson, and I said this in the video that I did when I opened up with Ben Johnson and he had accepted the job. I said this. I'm gonna say it again. Never forget that Ben Johnson looked at Jared Goff and he looked at Caleb Williams and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go over here."
Yeah,
just saying. That's the narrative. Don't debunk it. Go with it. Feed into it.
Yeah, I go with it. They're more into it, but yeah, I got and I'm called the Goff Hottie. It was more than that, but
yeah, but that's what we're gonna say
to make the Goff Gooners mad. Yeah. So you're saying Caleb then?
I have to. I know the flaws of Caleb Williams. I don't particularly know the flaws of Trevor Lawrence, just that he's not the guy that they said he was. I don't know exactly what's wrong with him, why he can't get it going. I watched in preparation for Caleb Williams being the number one pick. Somebody had put together like a video of every single one of his college runs and throws from his senior year at USC. So I saw the hero ball. I saw his love with it. I saw the holding on to the ball too long, trying to make plays in the pocket. And I think if Ben Johnson can, because Ben Johnson said, obviously, we're going to tear it down to the studs. We're going to design the offense. I think my man was drawing up plays for Caleb Williams during the Thanksgiving game. I'm not going to lie to you. He was probably over there like, oh, like the way that ball whistles, pause. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think if Ben Johnson really is a quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer, I think that Caleb Williams is going to have more success. The skill set of Caleb Williams is not too different than the skill set of Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence can run.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams is the most athletic quarterback I've ever seen. Like the way that he runs, it's like his body and his mind aren't in sync.
His hips have their own mind.
Yeah, he's just like,
although he had a spin move on Fred Warner that was crazy.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought Fred Warner was going to kill him, and he just that was wild. He's lucky. I mean, I don't know if he's lucky or if he's just nice like that. That was crazy.
Yeah, Fred Warner got some medicine, and Bobby Wagner got some medicine too when whatchamacallit, Baker Mayfield trucked him.
That's kind of crazy. I rewatched it like 5 times. I'm like, how did this? Let me try and make sense of this.
He trucked the mess out of him, and then he injured himself trying to tackle him later. He injured his ankle.
Yeah. I got Trevor, by the way. Head.
I'm gonna take.
I guess Caleb's got the upside to get there and be better, and obviously, I think he will now that he's got Ben. Trevor's cooked. I feel so bad for him, man. I really do think he's really good, but he's never going to be in a situation where that's going to be the narrative or case for him, unfortunately, man.
So why would you say that he hasn't? Because like I said, I know what Caleb Williams' problem is. Why would you say that Trevor Lawrence has not reached?
I don't think Trevor really has. I mean, his team's led the league in like drops and drops per EPA for like 2 years in a row now. Like the way you talk about the compilation of Caleb Williams senior year highlights, those compilations, you can probably even go on Twitter and find it. I'll send you it if I remember to.
I saw all the blocks, all the drops.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. Yeah. It's bad. If anybody watched the London game of them versus the Bears, you saw on that one too. There were like 3 drop touchdowns in that game alone, which, to be fair, could be on him throwing it too hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know Stafford had that problem.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah, you up there trying to break your receiver's fingers. You don't need to do that, So maybe he needs to put a little bit of touch on the ball and less zip.
I don't know. Bad for him. Oh, he's not. That's such a waste of talent. It's so.
But so when we originally started talking about that, it was the Salah thing, and what I said about Ben Johnson going there is when you say that you don't want to. Go ahead.
This comment is too good not to read. Taylor made me on the salon stuff. Said, okay, we got practice at 8, so maybe you squeeze me in before the shop opens. Sorry, that was.
Hold on, hold on. Where is that? Where is that at?
That's from Taylor Made.
Okay, I got you. We'll put it up there. All right.
That's probably how the conversations are going, by the way.
Huh?
It's probably how the conversation's actually going. It's
probably. It's probably.
But you know who I am? I'm the quarterback of the Bears. When he's good, if he's good,
he's gonna
be called the Boys Town Bomber.
The Boys Town Bomber.
That's gonna be his nickname.
We might as well just call him the YMCA.
YMCA.
Yeah. You remember that? What was it? Who was that?
Ron Simmons or something?
No.
YMCA.
It was a group. What was that group called? Y'all in the chat, tell me what that group was called. I forget what it was called.
I said, young
Uh,
man.
yeah, they were super fruity, bro. Extra flaming.
That's funny because I
Um,
take Donald Trump's song. We don't gotta go there. I don't know. You're thinking
so
Village People.
village people. There we go. Yeah. Uh, so maybe he'll be the village person. I don't know, but maybe I have to go through like the
They
group
sound like
of
some
the
kind
village
of
people and find the
uncivilized savage. The
yeah.
Village
I'll find
People.
the fruitiest person in there, which I think was like the lead singer maybe, and see who that is, and that's what we'll call him.
Well, what Boys Town is in Chicago, right? It's like the Ferndale of Chicago. That's what I say. He's the Boys Town bomber.
Okay, well that makes sense. Um, all I know about Chicago is, I have family in Chicago, and my dumbass brother let me walk out of the house with a blue bandana on my head.
Why would you?
Uh,
Why would you even do that? That's your
because I was a kid. I
both of
was a
you.
kid. Like I was like 9. You know what I'm saying? I was like 9. You know what I'm saying? I just had my bandana, just, tied it up. I didn't do the Tupac thing,
Right. Yeah. As long as you kept your hat straight, I guess.
bruh. Nah, I didn't have a hat. It was just the bandana. This dumbass let me do that.
That is not
But yeah, it's not. We don't talk. Uh, but the thing with Ben Johnson going there, like I was like, you can't lure a man that says he doesn't want dysfunction by being dysfunctional. And so the Jaguars are continuing to be dysfunctional publicly. Just not like
outrageous.
you fired the GM. Why now? Why now?
Because every coaching candidate said, I'm not really comfortable with this guy. I'm pretty sure that's got it. I mean, I know that's what Ben was looking for specifically. He kind of mentioned that.
Chad wasn't comfortable with him.
That's just wild that you let
Right.
him interview these coaching candidates. I don't even know, dude. They could have
You
had
let
Ben.
him interview the candidates, but you already told them whoever we hire ain't reporting to you, is reporting to me. So why is he interviewing them? Fire him.
He ain't really done nothing. I mean,
Now you missed out on Ben Johnson.
to be honest with you, Trayvon Walker over Aidan Hutchinson is a fireable offense.
I mean, the only thing that I guess because you drafted Trevor Lawrence, and he was supposed to be the
But that
second
was number
coming.
one overall. Like that, you don't even
Yeah,
get credit for that. That was
exactly.
a no. That was a layup.
Yeah, look, I'm just trying to find something functional for the dysfunction. So I don't think Robert Salah should go there.
You know, I mean, he probably will. You know what was a good pick for him when they drafted Brian Thomas last year? Actually, that was a good pick
Yeah, Brian Thomas was a good pick.
for sure.
But I don't know.
Anytime, bro.
Robert Salah, see, you get a pass when you get fired by the Jets. I said this before. Everybody gets fired by the Jets. So even AG, when he goes there, and hopefully he has success, but
Mhm.
the Jets are gonna Jets, and he'll probably be fired within a couple of years, maybe 3. Um, because Woody Johnson is going to be in the way, and Woody Johnson is going to be trying to trade players based on their Madden ratings and all these things. So it's not going to work out. But at that point, just like Todd Bowles, you're going to get another job. You're going to get another shot because the league knows that the Jets are going to Jets. So I don't think you're looked at as non-favorable when you
Yeah,
get fired from
I
there.
mean,
But
same way Rob Sellers get interviews.
yeah, but then you go to another dysfunctional situation in the Jaguars, you get fired from there. And by the way, it is Jaguars. Stop saying wires. All right.
Like,
There's no I in the word. That I like. Anyway, um, it's gonna be like this dude don't make good decisions. Like you went to the Jets and then you went to the Jags. Like what
mhm.
can we expect of you now? We're entrusting you with our franchise for a third time. if I was him, I wouldn't do it. If not the Lions, go back to San Francisco because they told you they was going to pay you whatever you want to come back. But sit this
But
one out.
yeah, I wonder what the price difference is. That's probably what's going. It's probably what's going to be his final decision. Because obviously, you usually typically get paid more as a head coach.
I get that, but if you want to continue furthering your career as a head coach,
Lance Newmark with the Jets? Did he go to the Jets? There's a comment there.
he should have because he was there with AG.
Yeah, we'll look it up right now. I know he's favored to get the job.
He said no W in it either. So you want me to say like the British people, Jaguar? Okay.
I gotta be honest too.
But
Lance Newmark.
Is Lance Newmark black?
No, he's a white dude. But I just like. Well, he's the Commanders now anyway. They know we ain't getting no picks. I'm just confused because like he was with the Lions the entire time they were garbage, like since '99.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
Lance Newmark has been around.
I don't know if he is gonna be.
No, did AG bring him in?
I'm assuming so, or at least recommended him. Because he got hired he was our director of player personnel.
Well, I mean,
Since 2016.
But he does have 2 turnarounds on his resume. Like he was on the staff when we turned around, and he was on the staff when Washington turned around. Yeah. Washington did it in a year. So, how much did he have to do with that? Director of player personnel?
Obviously, people think a lot.
Yeah. So,
but he was in Detroit a long time. To be fair, though, we had a couple good. I mean, Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, Glasgow. Although obviously not as great this year, but I think that's because he's getting a little older and had some injuries. They were all Brad.
So what's your strategy? What's your draft strategy? Because I told the chat, I said when I get 20, and we're talking about in total, right? So I'm not saying today, 20 super chats, and I will do my first ever mock draft.
I can't really speak on draft intelligently right now, to be honest with you, but I know what I want.
I mean, what's your strategy? Like, what do you think is the most obviously like pass rush, defensive line, but do you want anything else anywhere?
I'm gonna be mad if you got another guard. But I know Brad's going BPA regardless. I think last year he jumped the gun a little bit, but there's also a little bit of BPA as well because Terrion has a high upside, but that's also a need, and they started him right away. So I think they kind of like
Jared Verse
on that a little bit. Yeah, I wanted Jared Verse. I remember that,
bruh.
He talked crap to Philly, then went to Philly, he put up 3 sacks,
bruh.
As a rookie, that was crazy.
And Terrion be talking and they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not out on Terrion.
Yeah,
but I was so, like I said, I told the chat, I was like, this is when I was my original channel. Like when you met me and I had my original channel. Now
that channel, by the way, that guy's all whatever.
We're good. We ain't gonna talk about it. I wanted to distance, but you got to tell me that story too. You didn't tell me that story.
Down there, we'll talk.
Yeah.
But we're done, by the way, too. I'm gonna clip it for LNU.
Okay, cool. So I was like streaming it, and I had one person with me. One person was watching it. It was David Barton, and I was, when the Rams picked Jared Verse, I was just like, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm done. I don't care about the draft anymore. And then I was like, I'm literally leaving.
Was he the first? He was the first defender off the board, wasn't he? No. The kid from Latu.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just 4 picks away.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, damn, we couldn't have traded up to 19 to get him. When you saw him falling, I mean, everybody was falling on the defense. But when you saw him,
I mean, my God, dude, if him and Hutch,
bruh,
if we didn't get Jameer Gibbs and LaPorta, by the way, too, Jalen Carter right now, he and Hutch also would have been insane.
it would have been.
But I mean, we got Gibbs and we got LaPorta, so there's no sense in crying over that. But I'm
I mean,
also vindicated for everyone who told me they didn't want him or he wasn't going to be good or anything. He is a dog,
bruh, he is. But that Jared Verse, and then I came back and I saw that we had picked Terry Arnold, and I was just like, welcome to Detroit, I guess. Like, congratulations. Like, I was so done.
congratulations.
I was distraught, bro. He's probably going to be the defensive rookie of the year.
Jaguar.
There you go. Jaguar. But you got to get out of here.
I just got to plug on my laptop. I probably got to get going soon. To be honest with you, I got to edit some clips.
All right.
I can stay here for I'll put it on my laptop.
Okay, cool. But I need you to tell me that story, man. But I usually hang out with the chat afterwards. I haven't hung out with y'all today.
Maybe they don't want to hang out with you.
They love me. They're still here. I haven't been interacting with them at all. Is K Ain't Press still here? Let me see. Peep saying Caleb Williams was looking all underworld today like Denzel Washington.
That was hilarious. He came in there to solve a crime.
Oh, was he at the press conference?
Yeah, he was there with a big ass smile on his face.
Bruh.
I don't blame him.
Bruh.
I'm very curious to see how that turns out. Because I think he's very talented, but he's very much broken in the sense of like calling traditional football plays. He's Mr. Hero Ball. And I was wondering how long does it take to break that. To be honest with you, I don't even know. I don't even think a lot of people talking about Ben Johnson used a lot of play action. I think that was just because we had Jared Goff. We saw that play action. I think what you're going to see there is a lot of motion. You probably see some play action too. But I mean, don't forget, Jared Goff's one of the best play action quarterbacks in the league. He's one of the best fakers in the league. Remember that Seattle Seahawks player tackled the hell out of him after that fake handoff? JG's nice with that. But I think Caleb, I don't think you see as much play action. I don't think that the offensive line to play action like that either. You can get him sacked 68 times again.
I just hope Ben Johnson, because we know Ben Johnson gets lost in the fun. I just hope he has too much fun drawing up plays for Caleb Williams and he just gets beside himself. Yeah. And he just start doing crazy stuff. Because, the craziest thing about that JMO play was that it was so slow developing. That was the reason, why did you – I was upset at that because it had no chance to fool anybody.
I was talking to a defensive coordinator, and they said, stop those trick plays and lines. You really just got to stay with your key. Stay with your guy.
Yeah.
Don't fall off because that's what the Commanders did. That's why
they didn't even give him a chance to fall off because it was just so slow. Like from the beginning of the play, I was like, bro, Jamo's about to throw this. If I was looking at it from TV, what do y'all think in the stadium?
He shouldn't throw that damn ball. He should have ran it or just throw it out. That was frustrating. Penei had the same opportunity, but Penei obviously, let's be real. I'll admit it. Jamo's got some judgment issues.
Yeah,
a football player, and obviously the judgment issues were on the field twice that night because he also got himself a hefty hip thrust fine coming here soon.
Does he have the fine? Y'all think he's gonna get it
tomorrow? I think tomorrow is the day fines come out. I'm just curious to see if Louvu gets fined as well for hitting Goff.
Well, I mean, just the fines after the fact because we didn't see it. It's like,
yeah. I'm not even mad that though. That's I don't think. I mean, I ain't really.
Yeah, I don't think he was concussed.
Stuff like that happens. Yeah, but to be fair, I feel like quarterbacks do get left after a lot more. I don't know. I don't hate the no calls like a regular missed call, but it is. I feel like quarterbacks do usually get eye kept on him. You know.
Yeah,
I think the league tells him to.
that's
But
cool.
I'm gonna add these clips so I get out of here. Hey, will you send me this download?
Look. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you in the back, right? Because I gotta get this story from you. I gotta get this story from you. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I know it is not the usual. I know I hang out with you, but there's a juicy story that I need to get the information about. So I will get with you guys later. Hit me up in the Discord. I'll try to do my best to get around to that and checking it. But yeah, guys, appreciate you once again. Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static, whatever you do. And I cannot tell you what to do. But if you want to take it from me, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.
What does